Saganos. Also a defensive end spots, along with Bill Evans. Interior, Joe Campbell, Ernie Sally, Paul DeVito, and Ralph Fisher. Third down, yard. They've got it. Terry Campassi still on his feet across midfield. He's in now for Maryland territory at the 45-yard line.
Quite a run that time by Steve Campassi, number 41. Oh, they believe in this Beer offense at the University of Kentucky. The line blocks straight, keeps his balance there, makes a nice run downfield before Joe Young is finally able to corral him. Great gain.
So it is 1st and 10 for Kentucky. And that Beer T offense looks pretty good at this point. As the Wildcats move into Terrapin territory, the give is to Campassi, the fullback, straight up the middle, Don, and he's picked up another 3 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and about 7.
Fran Kersey for the Kentucky Wildcats believes in just on the basic offensive formations. He'll run that Beer offense. You look at the Maryland linebackers there, number 58, George Sheeta, number 68, Kevin Benson. They'll be in on a lot of play for the Terps.
Ramsey, the quarterback, number 12, the sophomore at 6'5", brings him to the line of scrimmage. It is 2nd and about 8 now. The ball at the 44-yard line. Ramsey on a keeper play, and he's up across the 40-yard line. Dropped there by the left side linebacker, Kevin Benson, number 68 for Maryland. Well, Don, we don't want to overlook those defensive secondary people for Maryland. Number 42 is Joe Young. Ken Roy, number 40 at the right halfback. Number 31, Jim Breckfield, is the left halfback.
Jim Breckfield is a great one. We'll see a lot of him.
Here's Derek Ramsey, number 12. Let's watch him operate. Third down. He needs about 3 yards. He's got it. The give is to Campassi, the fullback. Steve Campassi is 5'9". He's a 195-pound senior out of Frankfort, Kentucky. And he's dropped by defensive guard Paul DeVito, number 97. I'll tell you, the Kentucky offense is moving now from the opening kickoff.
They believe in those basics. They believe in the ground game, and Fran Kersey's going to march them on the ground. Only if they get in trouble will they have to change their offensive attack and go to the air.
Derek Ramsey looks him over. Number 12 brings him to the line of scrimmage. That's the 36. 1st and 10, Kentucky. The give, Collins, off right tackle. He's got 3 yards. And dropped by defensive end, Bill Evans, number 54 for Maryland. Evans is a senior out of Madison Heights, Virginia. And that brings up 2nd down now for Kentucky. The ball is now at the 32-yard line.
Here's a look at Sonny Collins' career rushing. As you can see in 72, 502, then 12, 13, and then 970 last year when he missed 2.5 games.
2nd down, 6 needed. That's Campassi, number 41, the fullback who gets the call. Maybe a yard, possibly 2. As they unstack, number 79, defensive tackle Joe Campbell comes off first. I tell you, he's a big guy. 6'6", 250-pound junior from Wilmington, Delaware. A 3rd down coming up now for Derek Ramsey and his Kentucky Wildcats. They need 5. First big 3rd down play for the sophomore. First down and more. Campassi to the 15, 10, down to the 5 to the 3-yard line. And these Wildcat fans come unglued. Number 41, Steve Campassi. Breaking tackle after tackle. It's worth a look again.
Well, I tell you what, on the 3rd and long, you expect a pass, but the Wildcats believe in their ground game. Give it to Campassi there. Run through arm tackle. Not good tackling there by Maryland. Campassi goes all the way to the 2.
1st and goal at that point for Kentucky. The Wildcats would like to get on the board first. Let's see what the sophomore can do. On a keeper, he's got maybe a yard. Let's see, they'll spot it down around the 1. That forward defensive line for Maryland would not let Ramsey into the end zone. Defensive tackle Ralph Fisher, number 71, number 97, the defensive guard Paul DeVito in to make the stop. Spot the ball at the 1. 2nd down, goal from there.
And at this point, Dan, Kentucky Wildcats have not yet put the ball in the air. I'm sure they won't at this point.
The Kentucky Wildcats making a drive on the opening kickoff. They have driven now to the Maryland 1-yard line. As you look at Derek Ramsey, number 12, The sophomore quarterback wanting to take him in. Second down from the 1. Touchdown for Kentucky. Sonny Collins, number 40, has scored the opening GD of the afternoon for Kentucky.
One of the problems with Kentucky in their loss against Kansas last week was that they could not get across the end zone. But this time they put on a good sustained march.
John Pierce, number 95, to kick the extra point. It's down, it's on its way, and good. So with 10, John Pierce is ready for the kickoff. Number 95, it's on its way. Coming down to the near side, number 25, Rick Jennings takes it up to the 20, 25, 30, now to the 40. At midfield, still on his feet, he'll break it all the way. Number 25, Rick Jennings on a 93-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Fantastic.
Got to give credit for a nice block with the other man back there with number 37, John Schultz.
I tell you what, John Schultz is a guy that can do it all, and that time he really didn't have to do a whole lot because Jennings taking it there on about the 7-yard line. You see Schultz, number 37, coming in front of him. Now watch all the blockers go down for Kentucky. You're going to see a good block right there by number 37, John Schultz. That opens the way. Jennings goes all the way. 93 yards, 92 yards for the TD for Maryland. They're right back in this thing.
We await this Maryland kickoff. Mike Sachko is into it. Number 41, Steve Campassi waiting. It bounces at the 10. Picked up there by Mike Saganos, number 44. He's across the 15, now the 20 into the 25-yard line. 20-yard return on the kickoff for Mike Saganos.
Here's a good look at how long it took the Maryland Terrapins to get back in the ball game. Richard Jennings there taking the ball deep in his own territory. He's going to get a good block from number 37, John Schultz. John Schultz knocks down the last man. Jennings goes all the way. Schultz, by the way, last week ran one back 92 yards but did not score.
Back to live action is Ramsey on the give. First and 10 from the 20-yard line to Sonny Collins, his running back, the senior from Madisonville, Kentucky, and he is dropped by defensive tackle number 72, Russ Lehane. Well, Don, it's a great Saturday afternoon here on ABC. As I was saying, coming up later in Wide World of Sports, satellite from Manila, the weigh-in today of Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier for Fight 3. You'll see that later tonight on the Howard Cosell Show live from New York, an interview with both men. We go now, second and 7 from the 26-yard line as Ramsey gives to Sonny Collins, and he goes right up to the 30-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Sonny Collins is drawing a lot of attention whether he has the ball or not. That time he did have the ball, but Maryland is swarming all over him.
Sonny Collins needs 62 yards rushing this afternoon to become the 28th player in the history of college football to surpass the 3,000 mark. The ball at the 31-yard line. Third down. 4 needed. Campassi, number 41, the fullback, is tackled by Joe Campbell, number 79, the defensive tackle for Maryland. Campassi comes out of the pile and back to the Kentucky huddle. It brings up fourth down, and the Wildcats will have to go into punt formation. Pete Gemmel, number 81, will punt. Jim Brackbeal, number 31, waiting. Brackbeal takes it to the 25-yard line, and it went all the way. And that's why we're tied 7-7 at 10 minutes into the opening quarter. The give is to Jennings, number 25, Rick, on all of the games that we hear from Louisville. It is third down, 7 needed. On the draw, Jennings trying to get outside to the 30-yard line. See what Kentucky does. And a fair catch is called for down at the 33-yard line. Tony Gray, number 9, the safety, was there to call the fair. 5 seconds remaining in the opening period this afternoon at Commonwealth. First and 10 for Kentucky. Ramsey on the give to Steve Campassi, and he's dropped by Russ Lehane, number 72, the defensive tackle from Wheaton, Maryland. And that will bring up 2nd second down. They actually lost about a half a yard in that one, Don.
I tell you what, Dan, this is the series of downs that Kentucky is going to put the ball in the air.
We shall watch as the sophomore Ramsey works on second down from the 33. No aerial show yet. The give is to fullback Steve Campassi, who's been a real workhorse so far. Brad Carr, right side linebacker, with some help from that defensive lineman Russ Lehane, is in on the stop at the 36-yard line.
I'd mention, too, that the Kentucky Wildcats are going against the 10th best defensive team in the nation in the Maryland Terps.
Ramsey brings him to the 36-yard line. He sends Pete Gimmel, number 81, wide to the right side. Randy Burke is coming to the near side. Ramsey wants to put it in the air, but they've got him. They've nailed him back around the 30. Brad Carr, number 46, the right side linebacker. Had that one figured out.
Well, that's almost like it was also in.
Here's the punt now by Kentucky down to the 35-yard line.
So far,
35. It is first and 10. It's 7-7. Kentucky Wilson, the defensive captain for the Wildcats. West Virginia working on a Boston College second quarter score. You'll see highlights of that game tomorrow on College Football 1975 here at ABC. Check your local station for time. They're following our telecast today. First and 10. Check that. Second down, 13 needed from the 20-yard line. Dick wants to pass. He's got a receiver that's shame, and Larry Dick got the call. And pitching now to Jennings, trying to get outside. And so on fourth down, field goal time for Maryland to see if they can take the lead. Mike Sachko, Leon Harris holding. This will be an attempt of 30 yards. It's on its way, and it's there. 19-7 Kentucky. Derek Ramsey, the give. Campassi, the fullback. You hear that name a lot this afternoon. Number 41, Steve Campassi, who was tackled by defensive guard Ernie Sally with some help from Chip Garber, the defensive end, number 82.
Well, we got a report that Blaine Stevens, the offensive guard for Maryland, has a sprained leg. He won't be back probably for the rest of the game.
Okay, Don, second and 6 at the Kentucky 24 for the Wildcats. Ramsey working out of the veer, was thinking about pitching and kept it. And he is going to be dropped around the 20. Goes wide to the right side for Kentucky. Third down, 7 needed. Collins gets the call, but that Maryland defense buckles up. And that is the end of the first quarter. Coming down at the 38-yard line, Kenny Roy can't get a return out of it. Field goal by way of Mike Sachko this afternoon. 10-7. Larry Dick. The give is to Tim Wilson, his full. It is second down. Check it, first and 10 now. Going outside is the first half. Second down, 4 yards needed. Here comes the tight in place of number 14, Tim Wilson. Third down, 4 yards needed. Dick wants to go to the air, rolls to the right, has his man. That's DiCarlo coming out of the backfield. Back to the Maryland 42-yard line. Make it third down, 18 yards needed. There's Jerry Claiborne watching his sophomore quarterback, Larry Dick. The throw to Jennings. Jennings is still on his feet. Go waits for the snap. It's a good one. The kick is on its way. Hangs there momentarily, coming down. Whoop! Loose football at the 17-yard line. Down at the... And the Wildcats put it in play from their own 12-yard line. First and 10. Derek Ramsey at 5 here on ABC. First and 10. Kentucky at their own 12. Let's watch Derek Ramsey. The give, Campassi. Steve Campassi, the fullback, number 41. And let's see, we've got a mix-up down there as they unstack now. The ball is resting around the 17-yard line.
I think just tempers are flaring a little bit down there. Steve Campassi, the ball carrier on that one, an excellent ball carrier, but he's probably been overshadowed most of his career because he's been playing alongside Sonny Collins, who's certainly a great one in the country.
There he is, Fran Kersey, head coach here at Kentucky. Speaking of Miami of Florida, his old alma mater, almost got Oklahoma last night. 11:27 left in the first half. It's 2nd and 4 from the 18-yard line. Sonny Collins, here he goes. Whoop! He's dropped. An ankle tackle down at the 30-yard line by Leroy Hughes. The defensive end, number 21. I'll tell you, it's a good thing Leroy was there.
I tell you what, we said in our pregame show that Sonny Collins was someone to watch. He's been bottled up pretty well all afternoon by Maryland. That time he bolted through there. Fran Kersey says they're going to play for that kind of a thing. He said he knows oftentimes they'll get stopped for no gain right at the line of scrimmage. But if they break through there, it'll be for a long gainer.
Here's the man that got him, number 21, Leroy Hughes. 1st and 10. There's movement at the line and the snap as Ramsey gives to Campassi. Tries to find a hole, gets to the 32-yard line. Paul DeVito, the defensive guard, number 97, is in on the tackle. Campassi, that was his 12th carry of the afternoon for about 85 yards. It is 10-7, Maryland leading Kentucky with 10 and a half minutes remaining here in the second quarter. 2nd down, 8 yards needed, the ball at the 32. Ramsey tries to find a little running room himself. Left side linebacker Kevin Benson won't let him through. Gets a little help from defensive tackle Russ Lehane, number 72, and Ramsey can't move.
The second quarter score, Ball State nothing, Miami, Ohio 21. Kent State leading Ohio University in the second quarter. And Northern Illinois leading Western Michigan. This is also a second quarter score.
It is 3rd and 6 at the 34-yard line. Kentucky's Derek Ramsey calling the shots. Rolling to his left, getting a little pursuit. Not enough time to look for a receiver. That's what he wanted to do, his pass. He rolled to his left.
The guy that was able to bring him down.
Punt formation. High snap. Pete Gemmell hangs on to it, gets it away, and a fair catch is called for. Weigh-in today of Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier for Fight 3. We work now with Maryland 1st and 10.
7.
Dick wants to put wings on it. Does to his fullback Wilson. Mike Sachko, number 1, will punt for Maryland. Waiting, Jamie Franklin. Sachko gets into it. Franklin takes it at the 32-yard line. He's to the 35 and brought down at the 39. Mike Siganos, number 44, in the tackle. I'm sorry, on the return for Kentucky.
13 to zip.
The ball at the 39-yard line. Kentucky in possession. 1st and 10. Long count. Looked like a brief hold on the snap. Ramsey, though, held on. Crosses the foot.
Almost a broken play.
8 yards. 2nd and 2 now at the 47-yard line. That's Sonny Collins. Will he be there? He's close to the first down. Let's see where they spot the ball. Sonny Collins, number 40. It'll be a little bit. The ball is at the 49-yard line. Kentucky down by 3 at this point, 10-7. 2 wide receivers split wide to the left side. That's Collins and Campassi in the backfield. Collins up around the 50-yard line. The Green Bay Packers and the Denver Broncos on ABC's Monday Night Football, 9 o'clock Eastern Time Monday, right here on ABC. 1st and 10 to give Collins. He fights his way to the 40 yield by Kevin Benson, number 68.
You know, he really impresses me. Not only is he a flashy runner with excellent speed and explosion, but he's a good, tough inside runner also.
Sonny Collins closing in on records of all kinds here in the Southeastern Conference. He needs 158 yards today to become the all-time Southeastern Conference rushing leader, and that was Collins again. Collins edging his way. 80 and number 81, Pete Gemmell, go wide to the left side. Ramsey, well, I don't know, he almost around the 43-yard line.
Well, you've only got a split second in which to hand that ball off. We're looking at Collins there coming off the field.
Punt formation, 4th down. Pete Gemmell gets into this one. Hangs it up there. Jim Breckfield wants it and takes it at the 16 left in the half. The Terrapins in offense as Dick gives to Jim Woods. 2nd down, 4 yards needed for Maryland. The ball at the 17. Wilson again trying to get that first down in place of the injured Mark Mangus for Maryland at quarterback. Here on ABC tonight, live from the Ed Sullivan Theater in Broadway in New York. The Duke will be with him. John Wayne, Red Fox is there, and Barbara Walters, and many more. And you can add Alex Karras to the lineup tonight, too, with Howard. Here we go. 3rd down, 7. Will punt for Maryland. Penalty against Maryland. Terps will kick again as Sachko gets into it. It's bouncing around, of course, your host for the 1976 Olympics.
The 19.
As Sonny Collins gets the call from Derek Ramsey for Kentucky, crosses the 40-yard line to around the 43. And Kentucky working now on their 2-minute offense, coming right back to the line of scrimmage. That's the 43-yard line. 2nd down, 2 yards needed. Ramsey at quarterback. Rolling to his right, looking to pass out of bounds.
Because Gemmel was open. He was just a little bit late finding him and getting the ball off.
Here's Ramsey back at the 43 now. 3rd down, he needs 2 yards. Wants to pass, looking. It's intercepted down at the 47-yard.
The ball in the air, makes a little play action pass there, but watch George Sheen of the linebacker make a great
Shreveport. 1st and 10, 43 seconds left. Maryland. Larry Dick on a keeper, rolling to his left. Time over most of these ABC stations next Saturday night. On 2nd and 3, Dick passing, complete down at the 32. Come back to the line of scrimmage, now the 32-yard line. It is 1st and 10 at that point for Maryland. Time is running out as Dick passes Carolina. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's the 32-yard line, rolling right. Dick looking for a receiver, down to the 20. It brings up 3rd down, less than a yard needed. And the clock is stopped with 9 seconds to put them up by 6 at the half. Leon Harris, number 4, will hold. He will spot the ball at the 29-yard line. This is an attempt of 39 yards for Sachko. Let's watch. It's on its way. Long enough. And no Kentucky. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports. We'll return for the halftime festivities of the Maryland-Kentucky. Greg Shida. And as you can see at the far end, the remainder of the Wildcat unit ready to come back on and see what they can do for Fran Kersey. The Maryland-Kentucky game is brought to you by Chevrolet, makers of the Polysteel radial tire. It keeps its feet even in the rain. And by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. Here they come, the Kentucky Wildcats. They're down by 3, preparing for the second half this afternoon. It's Maryland 10 and Kentucky 7. The 3rd quarter of play this afternoon with the Wildcats. John Pierce, number 95, ready to kick off to Maryland. The Terps leading by 3, 10-7. Pierce is into it, and we're underway in the second half. A high end-over-end kick going 7 yards deep into the end zone.
halftime score, and the score right now, Maryland 10, Kentucky 7.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line as Dick makes the handoff to Rick right around the line of scrimmage. Not much of a gain.
And the split in.
5. Let's go into punt formation 2 on the specialty. Coach Kentucky to its first winning season since 1960. 2nd down, 8 yards needed. Campassi is shy of the first down as he crosses the 35 at the 36-yard line. Safety Joe Young, number 42. with some help from defensive end Larry Hughes of Maryland in on the stop of Steve Campassi.
And Campassi rushed for about 90 yards in the first half. He's having a good day because in the first 3 outings for the Wildcats, he'd averaged about 57 yards a game. Couldn't help but overhear some of the Wildcat fans here yelling as the team came onto the field in the second half. Turn them loose, Fran, turn them loose. I think what they're saying is they want the Wildcats to open up offensively.
It is third down. They need a yard from the 36-yard line. They've got it. Sonny Collins. Sonny Collins, number 40 on the carry for Kentucky. We'll have a look at this one again and the power that this young man has, Don.
Not only power, but speed. He was moving before Campassi got started, did not jump on the snap of the ball. A lot of explosion out of that young man, certainly a super back.
First and 10 on the carry by Collins. He is closing in now on the 3,000-yard mark in career rushing. He is about 14 yards shy. Ramsey on first and 10 has to keep. Can't find the pitch man. Goes down at the 41. Bill Evans, the defensive end for Maryland.
That's the toughest job for a young quarterback to make, that instinctive handoff there. It has to be in a split second there when you give the ball to the runner going through or you keep it. That time Ramsey held on. Probably should have handed off.
It is second and 10 from the 40-yard line. Ramsey, slight mix-up. The backfield wants to pass, trying to scramble away from everyone. Can't. They've got him. And he's back at the 35-yard line. 68, the left side linebacker. Kevin Benson and Paul DeVito, the defensive guard, number 97, team up to bring Ramsey down at the 35.
Coming back out as a wide receiver, probably bringing in a play from Fran Kersey.
Let's see what the sophomore calls on third and 15 from his own 35. One scoop, getting some pressure, more of it, cannot get the ball away. Ernie Sally, number 74, the defensive guard, and some help on the right side of that defensive line for Maryland, number 79, Joe Campbell, in hot pursuit of Derek Ramsey. There's Ernie Sally, number 74, a sophomore defensive guard from Oxon Hill, Maryland. Gimmel has to punt for Kentucky, gets it away. Coming down at quarterback all afternoon for Maryland. Tim Wilson, the fullback, gets it.
So they got marched back a little bit.
That makes it first and 5th. Second down, 14 at the 33-yard line. Larry Dick wants to pass, getting pressure, gets away from one man, but dropped by the second. The Terps up by 3, 10-7. Dick gives Jamie Franklin trying to find running room outside. Number 44 could get a good return. The rush is on. Sachko gets it away. Saganos takes it to 35. Whoop, goes down to his knees, then up again, moving across the 40, 50-yard line, but they say he touched down at the 35. So that stops the clock, 8:25. Well, we were going to have you take a look again.
And he gets involved in a lot of traffic there, loses his balance there, puts a hand down. Really happened so quickly I could not see if the knee was down or not, but they ruled that he was down.
Back to live action, first and 10 from the 35-yard line. Notre Dame now leading Northwestern, 14-7, second quarter. Halftime, Miami, Ohio leading Ball State 28-6. Kent State over Ohio University 21-14 at the half. Sonny Collins, number 40, needs only 10 yards to break 3,000. Collins, here he goes. This might be it. He's across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Jim Breckfield, number 31, the defensive back from Maryland, makes the stop. It's a first and 10 for Collins. They spot it at the 48-yard line.
And right now, Sonny Collins has become the 28th player in college football history to surpass the 3,000-yard mark rushing.
Kentucky trailing by 3, 10-7. We're in the third period, 7.5 minutes remaining. The Wildcats with Derek Ramsey at quarterback. Collins, there he goes. Collins to the Maryland 41-yard line. Bill Evans, the defensive end, number 54, with help from defensive tackle Russ Lehane, number 72, in on the stop, and Sonny Collins, who holds 9 Kentucky season single game and career records. Let's watch him.
And watch him add to it. Sonny Collins, great senior running back of the University of Kentucky Wildcats. Good movement there. The linebacker, William Evans, chasing him, brings him down.
First and 10 at the Maryland 42-yard line. Collins, number 40, on the call again to about the 37-yard line. We'll see where they spot it when they unstack. It will bring up second down for Kentucky, as number 81, Pete Gemmel, moves back in now as one of the wide receivers in place of Randy Burke for Kentucky.
The Sonny Collins statistics, 19 yards, 19 rushes for 70 yards. Needs 158 more for the Southeast Conference rushing record.
Second and 7. Ramsey keeps it, tripped up from behind. Caught from behind by big Russ Lehane, number 72. A senior from Wheaton, Maryland. Defensive tackle for the Terrapins. And he brings Ramsey down at the 37. Third down coming. The Wildcats need 5 yards. Gemmel, number 81, and Randy Burke, number 80, split wide to the right side for Kentucky now. Campassi and Collins in the backfield. Sonny Collins follows that, blocking up now to the Maryland 33-yard line. They stack up there, and defensive end
To make sure he doesn't have the ball.
The Kentucky Wildcats come back to the line of scrimmage. Number 12, Derek Ramsey. He needs 2 yards. It's fourth down. They're going for it. Collins has got it. Sonny Collins to the 30-yard line is dropped by Brad Carr, number 46, the right side linebacker, with a help from the man on the left side, number 68, Kevin Benson. And Sonny Collins is moving on.
And give good credit to the offensive line for the Kentucky Wildcats. Right guard, 59.
That one going for you here. The Kentucky moving at the Maryland 30. That's Campassi, the fullback, number 41. Collins needs a rest to catch his breath.
Joe Campbell making the stop on that one, and Sonny Collins very well deserving of a rest. Fran Kersey is very reluctant to change his game plan. The Wildcats from Kentucky just keep coming at you with that Veer offense, hammering away.
Steve Campassi, number 41, has done a good job for Kentucky this afternoon. He is a senior from Frankfurt. His second down, 9 yards needed. Whoop. Ramsey trying to get it away. Mike should have held on to that one. It was nearly picked off down around the 25-yard line, but goes incomplete. He was getting a lot of heat, a lot of pressure from number 97, Paul DeVito.
Paul DeVito, the big tackle there coming in, is going to put pressure on Derek Ramsey. You see Ramsey there. Should have hung on to that when he threw it up for grabs. Fortunately, it was short of everyone.
Third down, 9 needed from the 29-yard line. Kentucky trailing by 3. Ramsey will run with it now. Can't find the receiver. He's down to the 20 with all that power. Moves for the first down.
You're going to see Derek Ramsey there. You're going to see the blocker, number 6 on the right of your screen, coming in there. He's blocking cleanly from the back, which, of course, is an infraction.
Third down, 16 yards needed now. The ball at the Maryland 36-yard line. Ramsey brings him back to the line of scrimmage. Wants to pass. Got protection. Going long. It's intended for Randy Burke, number 80, the junior split end. Number 95, John Pierce, will attempt this one of 53 yards. There it goes. Right on line, but short. 10 second quarter. Back to live action as we go with Maryland now. That's Rickman. We are late in the third period. Larry Dick wants to pass, does complete out on the right flat at the 20-yard 3. That's what the Terps need. John Schultz. The screen, Mike Saganos waiting to return. Such goes into it. Saganos will run back to 35. Trying to make the 40. He'll be shy of it as they drop him around the 39-yard line. A 38-yard punt for Mike Sachko, a 7-yard return. John, this young lady on the...
What the trainers have sure changed in the late 50s when I went to school there. Part of the Kentucky training staff there, the lovely lady you were looking at.
1 minute, 50 51 seconds remaining, third quarter. Notre Dame tacked on another 6 to lead Northwestern. 21-7, yep. Second down, 6 yards needed for Kentucky, their own 44-yard line. Campassi gets the call and moves across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Defensive tackle Joe Campbell, number 79, makes the stop at that point. I'll tell you that Campbell has been a busy man for Maryland in defense, along with linebacker Kevin Benson. Paul DeVito, the defensive guard, has worked well today.
Tell you what, they've had their hands full, and rightly so, because Kentucky's just been running right at them all afternoon.
With the clock running, time running out in the third period, the Wildcats need 2 yards on third down. Sonny Collins will not have it. Sonny Collins is nailed by Ted Quaby, a sophomore from New Jersey. Collins, plus the 50, he's got it. Sonny Collins, who now needs only 73 yards to become the all-time Kentucky in possession. Pitching in the backfield is Ramsey to Collins. It bounces, and Collins falls on it. But in hot pursuit is Joe Campbell, number 79. Watch it again.
Ramsey's having trouble making that decision. Fakes to Campassi there, then tries to pitch out to Collins. Really didn't make a good pitch, and Collins was very fortunate to fall on it for the Wildcats.
So a loss of 5. Second and 15 now from the 45-yard line. We've just started the fourth period. As we watch Derek Ramsey, there's a fumble in there. Maryland's on it. Joe Campbell, number 79, the defensive tackle from Wilmington, Delaware.
Rushing yardage, 221 Kentucky. All of their turnovers, one by Kentucky, and we just had another one.
Maryland now, as Dick scoreboard show immediately following over most of these stations. Here is Larry. It is third and 3. And tripped up in the back zone. Number 1 will have to punt again. He's done that several times this afternoon. 44, Mike Saganas waiting on the return. The kick's away. Bounces right at the goal line into the end zone. On top. Let's see what Ramsey can do. He has started at quarterback. He is still there. Gives now to Steve Campassi, the fullback. Now, we've talked a good deal about Sonny Collins, the young man in his senior season here at Kentucky, but let us not overlook this young Steve Campassi, a senior out of Frankfort, Kentucky, who has outgained Collins in rushing so far this afternoon. It is second and 9 at the 21-yard line. Ramsey keeps it himself, fakes the handoff, moves to the 24-yard line. Kevin Benson, left side linebacker, number 68. With help from Ralph Fisher on that defensive line for Maryland, in on the tackle. We'll be naming our offensive and defensive players of the game here shortly in the fourth period. And, of course, each of the men named will receive a $1,000 scholarship in their name from Chevrolet to be presented to the academic fund of their respective schools. Third and 5 at the 25. Ramsey going to the first down himself. Will he have it? He's crossed the 30. They stack up about the 31. Russ Lehane, Paul DeVito in on the stop for Maryland. He's got the first down. First and 10, Kentucky. The ball at the 31. Derek Ramsey, number 12, sophomore, 6'5". I think we detected a couple of moments here in the fourth period that maybe the Kentucky fans were looking for a change at quarterback.
I think they're a little unhappy right now.
Ramsey remains there, and first and 10, there he goes, Sonny Collins. Collins has gained 9 yards, moves up to the 40. Well, they're going to spot it at the 41, so that would be a 10-yard carry.
Dan, he just explodes through the line of scrimmage. He was in the secondary that time before defensive end Larry Hughes even saw him. Hughes did make the tackle. Collins really igniting off of the snap of the ball.
Well, he might make it. He needs 63 yards, 63 more yards to become the all-time leading rusher in the Southeastern Conference, number 40, Sonny Collins. He has carried 24 times for 95 yards this afternoon. First and 10, Kentucky at their own 41.
Will Washington.
Campassi moves up to the 48. They spot it officially at the 49-yard line. Paul DeVito in on the stop.
Tom Dornbrook just leading him. There's a look at the Maryland. Maryland 7. Kentucky still hasn't got any passing yardage. Yards rushing. 94-84 with Kentucky leading. That's in this second half.
Second down, 2 yards needed from the 49. That's the Kentucky 49. Ramsey pitches. Oh, they trapped him. Figured that one out. Number 71, Ralph Fisher says, no way, Sonny. I got you covered. And Collins is dropped back at the 40.
Here's a look at it again. Sonny Collins really didn't have a chance on that one. Ralph Fisher had it well diagnosed, brings him down for a good loss, almost 10 yards. That'll take away from some of those records that he's closing in on.
Third down, 10 yards needed for the Wildcats at their own 40. Ramsey wants to pass, and he was getting some pressure, then went down on his own at the 33-yard line. The pressure was coming from defensive in the punt formation. He gets the kick away. Coming down at the 30-yard line, no fair catch called there by Jim Breckfield. Number 31 is on the sidelines. Perhaps he'll be spelling Ramsey at quarterback. Here is the snap, and there's a flag as Larry Dick declined. Second down coming up now for Maryland. They need 16 yards. Larry Dick looking for a receiver downfield. He spots Kim Hoover. Let's watch Larry Dick on third down. Can't find the receiver, decides to run with it, picks up about 3 yards. Must punt away for Maryland. Mike Saganis waiting, number 40, takes it the 5-yard line, trying to find room now, dancing in the up around the 7-yard line, and we've got a flag down there. Preliminary indication, face masking. Let's check the official call. It stops the clock with 8 minutes remaining. Your community and all others across the country, that you'll be able to find time to attend a game perhaps this week. 24-yard line, movement up the line, the flag's dropped. Number 69 and 15 at the 19-yard line. Ramsey, number 12, still in there. The sophomore, who is 6'5", keeps it. Crosses the 20, picked up a couple of yards to the 21. Derek Ramsey. Kentucky will have a look at Joe Paterno's Penn State Nittany Lions at University Park. First game away from home for Kentucky this year. Sonny Collins gets the carry, breaks one tackle, now 2. He's moving. Midfield follows some blocking, the 40 to the 35 and out at the 30-yard line. What an explosive runner. Bill Evans, the defensive end with help from Ralph Fisher, number 71, watched them in hot pursuit of Collins.
Maybe the run says it all. Everybody on Maryland's looking for Sonny Collins. You see him run into a log jam there at the line of scrimmage, run through a tackle, directing traffic now downfield. Will Evans is going to finally break him down for the stop, but not before a super long gainer by the fantastic Sonny Collins.
That is a big play for Kentucky, a 47-yard run by Sonny Collins. First and 10, ball at the Maryland 30-yard line. Wildcat fans on their feet as Ramsey gives to Collins straight up the middle. He's got about 4. Paul DeVito, number 97, makes the tackle. Sonny Collins is now 23 shy of the all-time rushing mark in the Southeastern Conference. 23 yards away.
Just think, what kind of an afternoon for a young man when everybody's looking for you.
It is second down and 7 at the 27-yard line. Collins again. He's trying to make his way to the 25-yard line. Number 61, Ted Quaby, and number 54, the defensive end, Bill Evans, won't let him through.
There's a good look at it again. Sonny Collins there going to try to bounce outside a little bit. The hole is clogged up there at the middle. Can't get away, however, from Clawby. Bill Evans, the defensive end, also comes in for an assist.
Well, as Sonny Collins is about to break the all-time rushing mark in the SEC, who then holds it? Eddie Price of Tulane, back in the mid-40s. Third down, 6 yards needed. Whoop, jam up in the backfield. Ramsey was trying to make the handoff. Then there's a foul up as he and Campassi collide. And defensive tackle Joe Campbell and Ernie Sally, number 74, the defensive guard for Maryland, are right there.
Too bad. A broken play. Either Campassi or Derek Ramsey missed the call, but they collided right there. Oh, that can hurt your offensive game so much.
It will bring up a 4th down as the Wildcats are calling for a timeout here in Bluegrass country. Our field goal specialist will try one now of 45 yards.
He's only 1 for 8 in field goal attempts this year.
Here it goes, on its way, but it's too high, hangs up there, comes down, and is no good. That one just hung. They tell me Alex Karras is going to come in and have some fun with Howard also. And the Green Bay Packers from Mile High Denver at 9 Eastern Time. Here's Larry Dick Merrill. Yeah, he's going to pass, and does. Wilson, the fullback, has got the first next Saturday. A home game for Jerry Claiborne. Larry Dick pitching to number 44, Jamie Franklin, the tail. As Larry Dix makes the handoff to Rick Jennings, number 25 is. Also this afternoon, the coach Fran Kersey and his staff, athletic director Cliff Hagan, sports information director Russell Wright. 2:22 remaining.
Taking a look at it again.
Not sure the officials are going to allow it.
Here's the pitch out to Jamie Franklin. You're going to see him get a real good lick there by number 44 coming in for Kentucky. That was Mike Saganos, the defensive back, coming up.
Kentucky takes over at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 in Maryland territory. Don't run away. Ramsey to Sonny Collins. Gets one block. Goes across the 35. Collins now is up to the 34-yard line as he gets closer and closer to the all-time rushing mark in the Southeastern Conference. Clock running, 2 minutes left, 2nd and 4 at the Maryland 36-yard line. Here's Derek Ramsey. Let's watch him. Pressure's on. They've dropped him back at the 37-yard line. Bill Evans, big defensive play for Maryland. He is a senior defensive end from Madison Heights, Virginia. The clock is running. 1:38 left. 3rd and 5 for Kentucky. They're down by 3, but in Maryland territory. Ramsey gives Collins. He's pressing. He might have it. They stack up at the 30-yard line. Clock is still running. 1:20 left in this one. Kentucky quickly coming back to the line of scrimmage. 1:12 left.
4th down, Dan. It's going to be 4th and a little less than a yard.
Looked like for a moment that Collins had it. Let's see what happens. 4th down, less than a yard. Ramsey's got it. Ramsey has the first down. On the keeper, clock running. 56 seconds left, and no one's called for time yet.
Kentucky still having 2 timeouts. I'm sure they'll use them, but right now they have not called timeout.
And I'll tell you, the whole Kentucky bench has come to their feet. Fran Kersey can't understand why the clock was not stopped. They say it's close enough for a measurement, and apparently that's what stopped the clock. 44 seconds left as we measure here to see if Kentucky retains possession. They do. First down. First and 10 for Kentucky, and Sonny Collins is 2 yards shy of tying the all-time mark for rushing in the Southeastern Conference. But he's not thinking of that at the moment as Ramsey stumbles in the backfield trying to make the handoff. Defensive end Leroy Hughes is on him quick. The clock is running. 25 seconds. Now Kentucky calls for the timeout. That stops it. 25 seconds left. Well, we've got a decision to make here this afternoon on our offensive and defensive players of the game, as number 15, Cliff Height, a junior quarterback from Findlay, Ohio, who has not appeared in this game, is talking it over on the near sideline with head coach Fran Kersey of Kentucky. And Derek Ramsey, number 12, the sophomore, is not in on that conversation, which would lead us to believe number 15, Cliff Height, is coming in.
I think Height's going to be the man right now.
A big decision, Don. How about your defensive player of the ballgame?
Well, we've had a couple of outstanding about is probably the best defensive player here for Maryland or for either team this afternoon.
Kevin Benson, then, our defensive player. 25 seconds remaining. Cliff Height at quarterback. He gives Sonny Collins. Collins across the 30-yard line. He's up to the 27. And 20 seconds remaining as Kentucky calls for time again. The stop is made by Paul DeVito, number 97, and 61, Ted Clawby, pardon me, on the defensive line for Maryland. The offensive player of the game today, that's a big decision to make. Sonny Collins is pressing in on that all-time mark for rushing in the Southeastern Conference, but I'll tell you that fullback, number 41, Steve Campassi, has done his work here today. Can we give him two? 20 seconds left. Third down, 8 yards needed. The ball is at the 28 in Maryland territory. Everyone in this stadium on their feet. It's 10-7. Maryland, but Kentucky pressing. Here's Cliff Height, number 15 at quarterback. Rolling right, looking long, incomplete. Pass is intended, I believe, for number 80, Randy Burke, and we also had over there number 86, Vim Hoover, the tight end. It could have been that Hoover was his primary receiver and Burke was the secondary receiver. It goes incomplete. It stops the clock. 14 seconds remaining. And that brings up, you know what, fourth down.
And Pierce is in the lineup, Dan, so I'm sure that we're going to go for the field goal attempt, which, of course, will mean a tie if he should make it.
This will be an attempt of 45 yards. The hold, the kick is on its way. Strike twice. It looks good. It's there. It's tied.
He'd only made 1 of 8 coming into this game, but he made a big one just now. 40-yarder.
John Pierce, number 95, gets into it. Here we go again. A 45-yard attempt. It's long enough. The distance was right. There it is. It's tied. 10-10. John Pierce is a junior from Cynthiana, Kentucky. And if they're watching in Cynthiana this afternoon, they are very proud of one John Pierce. He won the first time that Kentucky and Maryland ever played. They tied 6-6.
This series may be completely even after this game. One tie, each team winning another game, and then this one all tied up. 8 seconds left for Maryland to do something about it. Collins has 31 attempts. He's picked up 161 yards rushing, so he is the new Southeastern Conference career rushing leader.
Replacing a gentleman by the name of Eddie Price of Tulane, back in the mid-40s, who rushed for 3,095 yards. Now, he played 4 years, but so has Sonny Collins. Coming up, all of the scores from around the college gridiron this Saturday afternoon. You'll be hearing a report on that from New York with Dave Dials and Warner Wolf on the Prudential College Football Scoreboard. Plenty of games being played today and some very exciting ones. I don't know if they're any more exciting than this one, though. As Pierce kicks off now, the ball coming down to Jennings, and he returns it up around the 23-yard line. That stops the clock with 3 seconds left. A 43-yard kick and a 5-yard return. It's 10-10. 3 seconds remaining. Oh, boy.
3 seconds or about one play to see what Maryland can do with it. I'm sure Kentucky will be in their prevent defense. Let them complete it if they like, but not go all the way.
Our offensive player of the game is Sonny Collins, receiving a $1,000 scholarship in his name to be presented to the Kentucky Academic Fund on behalf of Chevrolet. Last play of the game, there's the gun as Larry Dick is passing, and it goes incomplete down at the Kentucky 40, and the Kentucky Wildcats have tied the Maryland Terrapins 10-10 here at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. And with a towel on his head, the new all-time rushing leader in the Southeastern Conference. Check it, we've just been informed now that he has tied the record. Sonny Collins has tied the record. And he is our offensive player of the game this afternoon. Defensively, Our player from Maryland is number 68, Kevin Benson. And there's Jerry Claiborne down on the field. Well, a little dejected, I'm sure.
Said there was nothing sentimental about his return to Lexington. He just came here to win, but he did not. But he did come up with a tie.
We'll be back to highlight some of the action from here this afternoon. We'll be talking to Sonny Collins from Kentucky and Kevin Benson, our defensive player from Maryland. Bring you up to date in some New York. How you doing, Kevin? You worked pretty hard today.
Yeah, it was tough.
Like maybe a game hasn't been played. Just what is your feeling?
Very much so. I think we had a lot of breakdowns offensively, and we just didn't control the ball enough. And I think, well, we played our best. There's nothing else I could say.
With the super running back like Sonny Collins coming at you, did you feel any additional pressures?
Well, I guess there were additional pressures, but we kind of figured in all tough spots to give him the ball, and we knew where it was going.
Kevin, you've got a big game coming up next week against Syracuse as the defensive player of the game here this afternoon. And there he is, Kevin Benson, number 68, the linebacker on the left side for the Maryland Terrapins. Now stepping into your picture, number 40. I'll tell you, this man worked very hard this afternoon. I had the opportunity of talking with him yesterday prior to coming out to practice as Kentucky started the warm-up. I met him in the coach's quarters. Number 40, Sonny Collins. Hello, Sonny.
Hi, how are you?
A fantastic afternoon. I don't know whether you're aware or not, but by our unofficial tabulation here today, we have you now tied for the all-time rushing lead in the Southeastern Conference, and I know you feel good about that.
Yes, sir. I think it's a great honor, and you know, you can't do it without people in front of you, and you get people like Warren Bryant, Wally Palouse, potential All-Americans, you know, make you what you are, and you know, it just goes all along with you know, with a good team effort. It's just a shame we tied the game, but you know, we're going to keep on fighting for it, and hopefully something good happens to us this year.
Sonny, they say a tie is like kissing your sister. How do you feel about this game?
Well, can't comment on that. I love to win, and you know, that's the name of the game.
You got a big one next week.
Yes, we sure have.
And you're going to have to work hard.
Very hard, and we realize it, and we're just thankful that we didn't get it. Pardon me?
Sonny, with me here today is Don Perkins, a former running back.
Dallas?
Used to work, yeah, the Dallas Cowboys.
It's all right, isn't it?
Here he is.
Sonny, congratulations on a great game.
Thank you, thank you.
Hey, how do you feel coming into a game being a marked man, though? Because certainly everybody is out to stop you.
Well, it's been like that for 3 years now, and you know, I guess you just got to go on and take what you take what you give, and you got people like Capacity back there, and this year, you know, it's pretty hard for them to key on me, but you know, you just got to keep fighting, and you know, like I said, something good happened.
Sonny, let me ask you this. Do you think Kentucky was a better ball club than Maryland? Do you think you should have won the ball game this afternoon?
Well, you know, both teams got a lot of talent and a lot of things going for them, and we're both in the same situation. You know, we're trying to get a good program going. Maryland's just a step ahead of us, and we're still trying to fight for it, and it's about an even race. It's about an even race.
Are you at all concerned about your passing game? Because virtually all of your yardage was rushing. I don't know if you had any yardage passing, but it was negligible. Are you concerned with that taking some heat off of you?
Well, a little bit. I think we have to work on that a little bit more than what we have done in the past. Because everybody knows what we're going to do is run,
Yeah.
and we're just going to have to, I think, get a little bit more time and a little bit more blocking protection for these quarterbacks. You know, you look at people like Derek Ramsey. He's a big guy, and he'll be a good one if he can, you know, get that good protection. And I think if we just go on and work hard at it and get a little team effort out on the big O, I think things will work out for us.
Okay, Sonny, congratulations for having an excellent game, and continued good luck to you the rest of the year.
Thank you so much.
Well, I guess that says it all here this afternoon at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky, as we end up in a tie, 10-10. You know, the stalemate is still there. This series, this being the fourth game, as we have a look here at John Pierce on his 45-yard field goal that tied it up. We still have made no headway because Maryland and Kentucky played to a 6-6 tie. That was back in 1931. Then Maryland won a game. Then Kentucky won a game. And now we're back at the tie here, 10-10 this afternoon. So I guess Fran Kersey and Jerry Claiborne are going to have to get together again.
Maybe all we can say about these two teams is that they are even.
Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed it this afternoon. Our final score again is Kentucky 10 and Maryland 10. We'll be back with some more highlights of what happened here today in